Holy cow, we did it! We made it through Christmas.
Episode 22.
Yeah,
the end of the 2023 sports year.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, again, this is episode 22, December 27th, 2023. It's hard to believe we're almost at the new year already of 2024. So hopefully, if you're listening to this, everyone, I hope you had a good Christmas. If you're new to the channel, this is Tyler's Talking Sports. Myself, Tyler Castle, co-host and brother Tyler Hess on the other side of the mic.
Yes,
what we do here is we talk about sports, anything with balls in it. Haven't used that reference in a long time, so I wanted to bring that back out. But yeah, anything with sports, we're just trying to stay up to date. We get a lot of feedback from our viewers and listeners, so we just try to talk about it and then go out on our takes. We're not experts in anything, but we love to talk about sports. So yeah, Hess, do you want to hit us up with some socials and a little bit of our sponsors?
Yes, social media guys, be sure to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, and also be sure if you do find us on Facebook, not only like our page, but also follow our page, or vice versa. If you're following, make sure you're liking. I don't know why Facebook sets it up that way, but that's what they do. We do have a goal going in for next year of hitting 500 followers. We're at like 253 right now, so that's a pretty big deal. 254. See, growing one by one every day. Loving it. But yeah, be sure to follow us on all of that. Also, if you listen to the podcast on Spotify or Apple, maybe you just want to try something different for the new year for 2024. We're on all other major podcasting platforms. Also, if you bought a brand new vehicle and it's got Sirius in it, we're on Sirius XM Radio. Because I know most people don't want to pay for that junk, but hey, if you got a new vehicle, get it for free. You can listen to us on Sirius. Don't know how we sound on there, but we're on there. Also, we do have some sponsors. Is what keeps these cameras rolling, what keeps this mic working, what keeps us able to do what we do. And our first sponsor is Next Level Fitness Club.
Yeah, Next Level Fitness Club. It's here in Lebanon, Virginia, 1806 East Main Street, Lebanon, Virginia, 24266. It is a 24/7 gym facility, 24/7 tanning. They do have certified personal trainers, functional fitness classes. You asked for it, they got it. Other than showers, reach out to those guys. You can follow them on their Facebook page at Next Level Fitness Club or their Instagram at Next Level Fitness Club. And then also, too, you can follow them on their website or check out their website. It's www.nextlevelfitnessclub276.com.
Also, a pretty cool thing. I just got a text message from a guy who actually critiques all of our podcasts for our mistakes that we made. You know who you are. Ask if when's the new pod coming out. We got people answering waiting for it.
Yeah,
love that. Mm-hmm. I told them new pod will be out tomorrow, which will be actually Thursday for all you all. And we're recording it right now. So, Mr. Mays, you're getting what you wanted. I don't know what you're typing right now, but you're typing something. So when you listen to this tomorrow, it's going to be a live reaction because that's what you've been wanting to your text message. But anyway,
live reaction. Wow.
Our other sponsor that we have is Isaiah 117 House. They're based out of Elizabeth, and they have up to 20-some other houses throughout the country from Texas, Indiana, Florida, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky. But they got one in Alabama. There are many states. But if you don't know what Isaiah 117 House is, it's an incredible nonprofit organization. Isaiah 117 House provides a physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement. They have these houses. They all have a red door on them, so you can't miss them. But these kids, instead of laying in the floor or laying in a sleeping bag, at wherever that may be, they have their own room, their own bed, their own TV, video games, home-cooked meals, something to just make the transition a little bit easier on those kids. And I believe from one of our last podcasts, we actually had people try to reach out to us to get in contact with them. So that was pretty cool. So
we did actually.
They're a great organization. They have a Facebook page. They have a website. Their website's www.isaiah117house.com. They're on Facebook. They're on most social media. So check them out. Even if you want to make a donation to them, all of the proceeds go directly to them. They actually have some really cool merchandise too. They have nice T-shirts, hoodies, you name it, they got it. So be sure to check those guys out. But yeah, man, that's our sponsors. And before we go on, he said, Andrew, I didn't leave you hanging the other day. I was busy. I'm sorry.
He left me hanging too. Don't feel bad, Andrew.
I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody. I was really busy. A lot going on. But while we're asking, how was your Christmas, bud? How was your Christmas?
A blur. Everything was just a blur, man. We went and watched Christmas Vacation Friday at the Russell Theater here in Lebanon, Virginia. If you have not been to the Russell, I highly recommend it. Super nice. Just state of the art stuff.
Hold
all
on.
brand
Be
new.
careful that you do everything right, because Andrew said he had plenty corrections from the last podcast, but he let it slide because of how bad he's doing in the bowl pick'em.
Plenty of corrections. I love it. We need to bring Mr. Andrew and some of our listeners on, and that's actually one of our. I was going to tell him that's one of our 2024 goals. Is to bring some of y'all that listen to us religiously, and that critique us and give us feedback, and we just love talking smack with you all. So we're going to invite you on the pod in 2024. So be on the lookout for that. We'll definitely shoot y'all some invites. It can be the entire pod. It can be 10-minute segment. It can be as long as you want. But we'll try to do some of that, some guest appearances. I love that. So,
yep.
But yeah, I'll try to be careful, Andrew. I'll try to make sure all my picks and everything are good for you. Since you're, I think, second to last in picks. But yeah, the Russell. Anyway, when I was talking about the theater, if you haven't been there, go there. Go watch a movie. Go watch something. They actually had some live performances. They do previous movie showings. They do some newer shows. It's really nice. Popcorn's cheap. Most of these movies that are going on right now, too, are sponsored by local businesses. So shout out to Cedar Realty Group for sponsoring Friday night for a Christmas vacation. That was really nice to see, and I love that movie. It was the unedited version, too, which is even better.
Yep. Can't watch it with that. If it's edited, it is good.
Yeah, no, it was great. But we did that Friday, kicked it off Friday, getting a Christmas spirit. I swore I wasn't going to watch the movie, before we went and watched it, but I watched it like 18,000 times, and then I ended up watching it like 2 weeks ago. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's a great one. And then Saturday, let's see, what I do Saturday. I keep thinking Saturday was Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Sunday was Christmas Eve. Saturday I did a dinner at my mom's. So shout out to Mom. Great finger foods. Sunday did finger foods again, and ate at my uncle's house. We actually had the whole meal, the full meal, the turkey, everything. Then we had finger foods at my wife's family, open presents. Then we ate again yesterday. Yesterday, Monday. No, God, my days are running together.
Yeah, obviously.
2 days ago on Christmas, we ate at my wife's family. It was delicious. And then we went and seen the parents at the end, and that was that. And then I was back to work on Tuesday. So it was literally just like bang, 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 bang. So my wife and I have been trying to put up Hudson's presents, which he loved. He got to open up everything, which is cool to see as a dad and mom to watch him. That's really, what Christmas has turned into. So yeah, if it wasn't for that, it would have been way too hectic for me, but it was great. It was good seeing that. It was good just reflecting and talking to family members too. So yeah, it was good. It was busy. How about yours?
Man, mine wasn't too bad. See, I was Saturday, nothing really happened. We didn't have nothing going on because with Braxton and everything and how that was going. He was with his mother to the end, but me, Chris, and Blakely hung out, made sure we had all of our Christmas stuff ready to go. Sunday was Christmas Eve. Did we do anything Sunday? I don't think I did anything.
My days are bad.
I didn't do anything on Sunday either. We just kind of took it easy. Let Blakely open a gift or two, and then Monday was when all hell broke loose. That would have been Christmas Day.
Woo!
And, everything was going great. Going to go to my mom and dad's around 2. All Chris's family and stuff was coming there too. And then Chris, I'm down here actually making logos, our Christmas logo and the Next Level Fitness logo. And
hey, I appreciate that, by the way.
No problem. Krista screams, "Blakely's in the wine." Oh, we don't have wine, so there's no way she's in wine. What you talking about? I go upstairs. Blakely has lice. So then it turned into nothing's open on Christmas Day, but the Walgreens in Abingdon. So I drove to Walgreens, actually left 2 black marks out here in the driveway or out here on the asphalt.
Smoke them, baby.
Yeah, burn them.
Who needs tires?
Yeah. Eat my rubber, So, but yeah, and I haven't got all that. Shaved my head. Braxton got his head shaved. Krista had treatment. Blakely's still going through some treatment to get rid of it. School system, what do? Girls' long hair, they get it. The cleaner the hair, the more they go for it. So that was great. Backed our Christmas up to about 6 o'clock. Then finally got to mom and dad's. Got gifts and stuff open. It was great to see the kids open stuff up. Braxton cried over his Georgia jersey and some other stuff. And it was just kind of special to see him get so excited and emotional over certain of the gifts. Blakely excited over her Paw Patrol stuff she got.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Christmas Day. And then I was actually off the 26th to continue my work. Gave us that day off. And yesterday was just a day to kind of relax and take a break from things. Watched Home Alone for the first time.
Oh, first time?
Yeah, first time.
Which one? The original Home Alone?
The original.
What'd you think?
Pretty good movie.
Pretty good, ain't it? Yeah, yep. Pretty good.
Yep. And then Me and Braxton had never seen Transformers, so me and Braxton watched the first Transformers.
Goat. That's the best one.
Finally got my surround sound fixed. That was pretty cool.
Mm.
Then here we are,
Man.
podcast today, and looking forward to getting this work week over and having a 3-day work weekend.
Yeah, we got New Year's next week. By the way, guys, we're going to be back on normal schedule. It's been a little off with all the holidays going on, but this will be on Thursday morning. So if you're listening at 6 a.m. on Thursday, we do appreciate y'all stopping by. Next pod will be Sunday, so right before New Year's. And then we're actually, I'm going to go ahead and reveal it here, Hess, since we got our listeners. We're actually going to do a live on Monday. So be on the lookout for a Facebook poll, probably. I don't know, Hess, what are you feeling? Facebook poll, story, something?
It'll be a Facebook poll, and it'll be I think let me see. There's like 5 games on Monday. Let me tell you. Go ahead and so y'all hear it, then you can go to the poll and automatically make your vote.
Yeah, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to have a poll on each game. Whichever game gets the most votes, that's the game we're going to go live on. So we're going to go live on Facebook and YouTube. It was very successful last time, so hopefully if y'all are free and watching some football, hopefully y'all can tune in because it was a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to that one.
So Monday we have the Quest Bowl with Wisconsin versus LSU at 12. We have the Fiesta Bowl between Liberty and Oregon at 1. Also at 1 o'clock, we have the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl between Tennessee and Iowa. Also, it's a big game now because Nico's starting for Tennessee there. Hopefully, Caitlin Clark plays good for Iowa. And then ESPN will be covering at 5 o'clock the college football playoff semifinal Rose Bowl, Alabama versus the overrated Michigan Wolverines. And then at 8:45 will be Texas versus Washington. So those will be the games you all get to vote for. Whichever one wins is the one we'll go live for. I feel like it's going to be one of these playoff games, but hey, it might not be. We might get to watch the playoff game on our own and cover one of these other ones. So y'all, we're putting that in the viewers and listeners' hands. So whichever one you all pick, is the one we'll do live for, and we'll be live on Facebook and YouTube during that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess our next live or next podcast will either be that Thursday for filling it if we have enough energy after Monday, or I might go back to Sunday and then back on regular schedule.
Let's just have a discussion here between me and you right now while listeners are here. Yeah. Since we're going live Monday, you want to take Sunday off to prepare for the live and then be able to do Monday live and then do podcast Thursday.
Thursday, back on normal schedule.
Because New Year's Eve is Sunday. So
yeah. We can see not a ton going on this weekend as far as sports wise. You got a couple good bowl games this weekend, but
with New Year's Eve going on, you might have some stuff going on with your family. Might be going somewhere to watch the ball drop. That's
true. That will be going on at midnight. So we might just do the live Monday and then back to normal schedule next week.
Let's do that.
That'll probably be easier. So that's what we're going to do, guys. We'll just take Sunday off, let y'all enjoy some time with your family. But then again, don't miss out on Monday because it's gonna be lit. Whichever game we go live with, electric here at Tyler's Talking Sports.
That's right.
At Tyler Hess's. I'm coming to your house, by the way. If it's lice free.
Oh yeah, you're good.
I'm not coming up if it ain't lice free.
I got stuff I can spray you with.
Why don't you show our viewers here real quick the video cam? Yeah, you already know where I'm going. Take off that. Look at that fresh shave, boy. Buzz, looking good. It looks good on you. It's been a long time since I've seen you that short.
I know.
Seriously, in all seriousness,
it's been a long time.
It makes me want to go back to my buzz days. I used to do buzz cut.
Might be high school days since it's football helmet wearing days.
I like it. Looks good on you. Makes you look like a younger man.
That's right. We'll shave too. We'll shave all this off.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, do you got a Bowl Mania update? Can we see how bad Andrew Mays is doing?
Yeah, let's check in on old Cooper Mays there.
No relation.
Alrighty, folks. We got some updates here. We've got a game today. Changed up some things. So right now, we got first place Stooters 12, which again I think is Andy Stoots at 16-6. Hook'em Hokies at 15-7, which is Brian Long. BPI Gobblers tied with Satisfied Castle, Beamers, Bird Dog, Can't Spell Citrus without UT, and third place at 14-8. Then we go down to 7th at Purple and Gold at 13-9 with Blowhard Hess, also tied in 7th now 13-9. Then we go on down to Tennessee tight ends, which is Caleb Johnson at number 9. Hills 002 picks 1, 12-10. Tom Landry Longhorns what rhymes with orange. We got a lot of jokes here about the orange. Also at 12 and 10, then we got Mr. Jacob Compton, 24 at 13th. He's all alone at 13th place.
Good job, Jacob.
Caleb's Couch. I am sorry. Bullbusters is dead last at 0-0 because they didn't join. Number 14, Caleb's Couch, 10 and 12. App State Aggies is dead last on my list at 10 and 12. So, looks like he needs to do some studying on some bowl games.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
He's a Vols fan, though. He's one of them delusional people.
One of them delusional.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I roll tide. That's all I got to say. Nah, guys, we really do appreciate y'all playing in this, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been getting some people tell us they're going to win the shirt and stuff like that. And I've had some people at the gym come up to me and say, hey, I'm in second, or hey, I'm in third. So it's fun. It's all for fun, guys.
Yep.
But for real, if you beat Hess, I'm happy.
Yeah. Hey,
Not me.
I'm making a comeback. This last little bit.
You are.
A comeback.
I had a rough second day there. I think I got one. JMU really let me down. Utah State, Troy, Arkansas State. I should never went with Butch Jones. I had Northern Illinois, and I was like, you know what? Butch ain't too bad. And he lost the game. But yeah, some crazy games here too. I mean, there's been some good bowl games.
Absolutely.
But again, guys, we do appreciate y'all playing the Bowl Mania. There's going to be some more of these in the future, so just be on the lookout for
Absolutely.
that. And Andrew Mays is in last. So if y'all know who Andrew is, make sure you let him know that he's currently in last place.
Yes, poor Andrew. Sorry, Andrew. Sorry you're in last.
Sorry, second to last. He'll correct me.
No, yeah. Woo. Hey, you might have time for a comeback.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Buddy, it's time for the segment. Tyler's Talking Sports Hot Takes. Do you got one?
I don't have one for tonight.
Don't got one.
Had
I got one.
Very busy day, so
You're good.
Didn't really have time to plan for it, but I knew you had one, so I was going to let you do yours.
All right. This one came to me because it's actually in our notes that I was going to talk about during college basketball, but I actually won't put this up for a hot take because I think this is a kind of a touchy thing. I don't think it's anything me you're going to get into an argument over, but I do think it's something that's kind of controversial.
Okay.
We talk about women's college sports and women's pro basketball, WNBA, and you hear them talk about how they don't get paid enough or they don't get the publicity that the men's game gets from college, from WNBA to college. And I've actually tried to watch a couple of WNBA games this year. There's a couple players, Sabrina Onzioka, or what, played at Oregon. Love watching her. She's got her own shoe. It's a really cool Nike shoe. She's really fun to watch. I mean, there's a lot of women's basketball players that are fun to watch. It's just there's something about the way it's marketed and how it's put out there that it's just not as exciting. And I mean, granted, physically, they ain't able to do some of the stuff the men can do. I'm not taking anything away from the game. There's some of the women that can shoot better than half the NBA.
Absolutely.
It's who we are, men versus women. But something really just it irked me today is I always pay attention. If y'all have listened to the podcast in the prior episodes, every time we talk about a game, I'll usually tell you what the ticket price is for the game, like the lowest ticket price. Well, I was going through everything, and guess what the most expensive ticket is for the entire weekend? And that's including your college football playoff. That is including pro basketball, NFL, and college basketball this weekend. The lowest ticket price out there. Do you know what it is?
The starting lowest?
Yeah, it's the highest starting lowest ticket price. That makes sense.
Highest cheapest. I got you.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Not right off.
That would be the Iowa women's basketball game versus Minnesota in Iowa. The starting out ticket price, the lowest ticket you can get is $227, and it puts you in the nosebleeds.
Sheesh.
Nothing against Iowa basketball. I get Caitlin Clark's on that team, and she is a generational talent. She is somebody that you want to go. She's must-see basketball. Whether
Absolutely.
It's the men's game, the women's game, pro game, I don't care what it is. She could ball with the best of them. But the people who watch women's basketball or watch it are true fans of the sport, you're taken away from them. Charging $227 when I can go watch Alabama play Michigan in a college football playoff and sit in the same exact seats for $87.
Right. Let me ask this.
Yes.
Are seats selling?
I'm not sure. I can actually check and see if it's sold out.
Yeah, see if it's sold out. I mean, that might be why they're charging that.
It's just, I don't get how you can charge $227. It's the lowest ticket price. I mean, that's the lowest one. Who knows what the highest is. And how can you? I mean, I get Caitlin Clark is must-see basketball, but they're playing Minnesota. It's not like they're even playing another ranked team. I just don't understand.
Well, it sounds like tickets are in high demand, and that's what's driving the price up.
I mean, even if
I know you can go watch women's Hokies basketball sit anywhere you want. It's like $10.
yes, I can go watch LSU play this weekend for $2.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
and there's certain men's sports too like that. Like baseball, for instance, isn't that expensive. Certain basketball games, we could have went to Tennessee game. They played Tarleton State. Oh, God, yeah. Andrew's going to dog me on that, but they played them, I think, last week, and you could have went for like $7.
We can go watch the Tennessee game for $46. We can go watch Liberty versus Oregon for $22. I can go watch Texas versus Washington for $191. I can go watch Alabama, Michigan. It's actually went up, but you can go watch them for under $200.
It's because the tickets aren't in demand though as much, for the bowl games, because they don't mean as much as they used to.
Let's just say, hold on, I want to look at something too. NBA scores. When's big time basketball? Saturday. Who's a big game? Knicks versus Timberwolves in Madison Square Garden.
MSG.
$154 lowest ticket price. Pistons Rockets $9 to get that one. Go to LA, watch the Clippers play the Heat, $30.
Wow.
But I can't go watch Caitlin Clark at Iowa to play Minnesota, an unranked team, for under $200.
So what's your hot take here? I mean, is it the prices?
You're taking away from the women's game. You want people to come fill these stands up. You want people to watch this on TV. But you're taking the stadium holds 15,400 people. And
my question is on that, I don't necessarily think they're taking it away if it's in demand. If they're selling out the stadium, then that's understandable why their prices are what they are. Because we can't even get in Georgia in the football season under $300 probably.
As of right now, I can buy tickets anywhere you want to sit, except for LL, KK, JJ, K.
Is that the lower sections?
No, it's a bowl. The stadium they play in is literally a bowl, so it's not.
It's all just like one section.
Mm-hmm. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to N, and then it goes double letters, N,
Gotcha.
M, M, L. But it's all like one section. And, I mean, I get it. But you want people to go see these women play the game, but you're going to charge me over $200 to go see probably one of the greatest women basketball players of our time.
Well, I mean, that's understandable, though, I don't have any.
It does say this event is selling fast for Iowa for this game. But
it'll probably sell out. Like you're saying, she's generational talent. That's like, watching
maybe
LeBron
there's something
James.
I don't
that's
understand
why you see
between Minnesota. Maybe because
that's why when you see, like, I don't know if you've looked at tickets, but like when you want to go see LeBron James play, I mean, well, LA, for instance, LA tickets are way higher than most other teams because of who they have on their team.
Right.
Because everybody wants to see LeBron. And you look at it the same way in college basketball. Everybody wants to see Caitlin Clark. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just driving it based off the fans and how quick they're selling tickets. That's all that's driving that. If Caitlin Clark was average,
right,
it'd be $5 to get into the game. But she's not, and she is generational talent. And I do think she could change the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking ahead to when they play at Ohio State, Iowa. They play on a Sunday on January 21st. That game's almost sold out.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
But the game at Iowa this weekend against Minnesota, there's seats available everywhere but 3 sections.
The demand drives the price up. That's all it is.
I just couldn't imagine. Like, okay, here's my thing. Let's say they make it to the tournament, which they will. Oh, here, there's 101 tickets remaining for an event in February when they play Illinois. But I mean, it's just because of who she is. But I mean, let's not do that. I think a lot of sports do that. But the women's game needs to be able to build. Me and you should be able to go watch this game and not break our bank.
I have a thing on that. Like, there should be a set cap on everything as far as sports related. Like, if you want to sit nosebleeds, $35 minimum, and first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to go next section down, it jumps up to $85. Don't matter what conference, it's set prices. Like, I mean, if the team's terrible, it's the same price. If they're great, same price. Obviously, they'll never do that because That's not how the
I just think
economy works.
I just think stuff like this just takes away from, because this right here only brings in the people who say, "Hey, look how much money I spent." You lose out. I mean, other than alumni and stuff like that, but you lose out on the true fans or the people who have been a fan of this
Maybe.
team for so long. I mean,
If they're true fans, they might seriously want to go to that game.
would you pay $227 to go watch?
If I was a true fan, absolutely.
Would you pay $227 to go watch? Say Nico balls out and becomes a Heisman Trophy winner, and they're playing Georgia in Georgia after y'all win a national. Say y'all win a national title next year, he wins the Heisman Trophy. You play Georgia in Georgia.
What you spoke before you got on here?
Or in Tennessee, but you know the ticket price will be $400. Will be the cheapest, so you go into that
Every
game.
bit of it, absolutely.
You pay $400 to see him.
If you want to go, absolutely. If Tennessee was to make it to the national championship, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I've waited for that my entire life.
So right now, the national championship.
Well, it's like me and you going to baseball games, right? I mean, we're going to pay
that.
for, if we fly, we're going to pay to go out there, enjoy the, you're there for the experience as a sports fan.
Right now, without it being Alabama, Texas in the national title, the lowest ticket price, without us knowing who it is $1,500.
Yeah.
What's that going to be when it's Alabama and Texas?
A lot. Look at the Super Bowl.
We're going to pay that?
Maybe.
It takes away. It takes away.
We'll sell some stocks. We'll go. We'll go, baby.
I don't know. I just think
that's a little bit different because when you talk about national championship, that's like a once in a who knows how long.
Well,
Caitlin Clark, she plays a full season, so you can pick.
It was a couple years ago.
As long as she don't get injured.
I had a buddy, Andrew Jesse, I graduated with in high school. He went to the Final Four for $86.
That's crazy.
Got to watch North Carolina play, but I mean, granted, the rest of the teams wasn't that good.
Right, still.
But still, that's a big
Final
event.
Four.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have no, shame in jacking up ticket prices because of the demand's there. If the demand's there, then yeah, that's going to drive the price up. If demand's not there, the price is going to come down. It's just simple economics, So, yeah, I have no issues with that.
All right, well. That's all I got. That's my take. I just think they need to do some regulate with ticket prices because I think it takes away from your traditional normal fan.
Now, I do. If we're talking about overall ticket pricing, then yes, I do think there needs to be some regulations on it because the SEC, just as well as I do, the SEC is sky high on ticket prices and they jack those games up really high. But you can go to other, ACC, Big 12, a lot cheaper. So it does suck because it is very expensive. Like if you want to go watch SEC opponent, you're gonna pay money,
right?
But it's just part of it.
No.
But
part of
it'd be nice if they would come up with something like, hey, tickets capped here for college sports is as high as we can go.
Yeah.
If inflation goes up next year, they're going to go up. Just try to treat it like the economy.
Yeah.
But they won't because that's just not how it works. Yeah. It's all driven off of demand, baby.
Demand. Yep, I get it. All right, well, that's my hot take there. You guys didn't have one, so let's jump into our next thing. Since it is the end of 2023, we've had a lot of sports. This podcast has been going on for 2 months now, so we haven't been able to cover everything of 2023. But I'll have to ask you, what was your favorite moment of 2023 sports-wise?
Yeah, I really had to think about this because, we go all the way back to the beginning of last year or this year, whatever you want to say, for 2023. But honestly, mine came here in the last couple of weeks. I don't think you'd guess this was mine, but it was actually my favorite moment because all my sports teams absolutely sucked doo-doo this year. But really recent is watching Patrick Mahomes throw his helmet and act like a baby. Then cussed to Josh Allen after the game, saying it was effing bullshit is what he said on the call. And I don't know, that made my day. Just watching that happen. So that was my favorite moment of 2023. Actually watching him lose a game because Travis Kelce lateraled the ball back, incredible play, would have been, highlighted everywhere, and it got called back, which just made my day. That's absolutely my moment of 2023.
So Travis Kelce's helmet throw wasn't good, was it? Didn't make it, but
didn't make it because Patrick Mahomes been getting the call 7 years in the league.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was nice to see him act like a baby in front of everyone, and then cuss out, like I said. You heard it clear as day what he said. To Josh Allen after the game. Again, just no class, very classless. And that was the highlight. Just watching him lose and then, watching the Chiefs struggle this year, I guess, is another highlight. Yep. It just makes me laugh. Okay. That's my highlight.
Well, my highlight is not really a certain event as much as it was a personal sporting event. I got to take Braxton to his first ever Braves game this year. And his first ever game, the game started out, his favorite baseball player, obviously, was Ronald Acuna Jr. And at the very beginning of the game, Acuna hits a home run. The very next batter, Ozzie Albies, hits a home run. The very next batter, Matt Olson, hits a home run. Riley gets on base. Ozuna hits a home run. I mean, for Braxton to be his first game in Atlanta in Truist Park, to see that in person as a father and as somebody who loves sports, but to see him get so excited about it, and he got a Ronald Acuna chain going into that game. It was the giveaway. It meant everything to him. And he turned around, during after that was like, I'm going to do that one day. Shoot for the stars. I love it. I hope he does. But for me as a father and a sports fan, that was my biggest moment of 2023. But if I had to pick something that wasn't as personal, something I think a lot of people have looked over this year because it happened early in the year. I think it happened around February, maybe January. I could be wrong. When LeBron James surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, the moment that he did it and Kareem came out on the court and handed him the basketball, that was a record that a lot of people never thought would be broken. I mean, Michael Jordan didn't do it. Bill Russell didn't do it. Name the player, they didn't come close to it. LeBron did it and is still adding to it. And I think that was something that, I look at that as, Hank Aaron's 755 as a record, like something you don't think would be broken. And I think that was something that a lot of sports fans overlooked this year because, one, people hate on LeBron for whatever their reason may be. They hate on him. But this dude broke a record a lot of people never thought would be broken, and he did it, and he's still adding to it. So that was probably my moment that stuck out to me the most in 2023, other than Braxton going to his first ever Braves game.
I like it, man. I went with a hate on Patty Mahomes. But, yeah, I like that take. If I had to do a personal one, I think it would be our trip to Cincinnati.
Yes.
That was probably my personal.
That was a good one.
Watch Cincinnati Reds play the Braves. It was an epic game, 7-6. Braves held
great
on.
Game.
That was back when L.A. De Cruz was absolutely tearing it up too. So,
yep. And that was a good moment too, because that was our first. Yep. That was our first game together to start off this whole ballpark tour. So, yeah,
yep.
2023 had a lot of sports moments in it, but that was that whole thing, Cincinnati, everything, even my trip to Baltimore and Philly.
Yeah,
to watch those games. That was just something cool. Sports was a big part of my 2023. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Heck, I could even go to the Georgia-Tennessee game. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun moment.
That was fun.
Fun environment.
A lot of fun stuff. But, yeah, I went with the Patty Mahomes, baby.
I like it. Hey, guys, 2024 is going to be even better. This podcast is going to be into everything, and we're going to be doing things I think a lot of people don't think we're going to do. I think a lot of people think that we're going to sit here behind this camera, at this chair, his chair, this mic. But we're really going to do some big things in 2024 with this podcast, and I'm excited to see. Hopefully, this time next year, our favorite moment in 2024 would be like, man, remember when Pat McAfee invited us onto his show and we got big. So, but yeah, that's it I got for 2023. Looking forward to 2024, but we still have some stuff we need to cover in 2023 because we're not done with it yet. And some big news in college sports in general right now that actually broke, I think, right before Christmas. Florida State suing the ACC. What do you think about that, bud?
Yeah, they would. I looked this up. I was reading some articles earlier today. FSU would owe the ACC approximately $570 million to leave. This includes a $130 million withdrawal penalty and $429 million in forfeited media rights under its Grant of Rights agreement. We talked about the Grants of Rights in a couple episodes back. Yeah. If y'all are not familiar with it, go back and listen. With the league through 2036. So FSU trustees are suing, saying the ACC has failed them when it comes to media in a roundabout way, pretty much was what I was reading. I think they're suing them because they're trying to say that $429 million is just bull crap, which I believe it is as well. But the ACC is trying to do everything in their power to not let FSU leave because they know if SFU leaves, this will cause a trickle effect down to these other schools.
Absolutely.
And we could very well see the ACC dissolve. So, and like you mentioned before, FSU is kind of one of the founding fathers, so that would be huge. So I hope they work it out, but I do see FSU losing. Obviously, this is all comes from the bowl selection. That's all it comes from. I get it. Be mad. At least, you want to leave the conference, sure. But I don't think you want to set back your school $500 million.
Well, I agree with that too, but I also don't see what their reason. I mean, I get they're suing because of the exit fees so much and all that, but you can't blame the ACC. The ACC is a conference. It is considered a Power Five conference by NCAA standards, and they did everything they were supposed to do in a Power Five conference to make it. If anything, they should be suing the NCAA. I mean, if you're going to sue somebody, sue the NCAA. The ACC didn't do anything as a conference. I mean, the only thing they're doing is charging you a buttload of money to leave their conference, and rightfully so. I mean, FSU's a blue chip program. They're a national championship. They have national titles. They have Hall of Famers. They have players in the NFL. They're a brand. I mean, they are one
They
of
handle
the
all
yeah. I mean,
all the media. That's what it is. It's just the media rights.
Yeah, and I mean,
you know, Florida State don't hold that. None of the ACC schools hold that. It all goes back to the ACC,
which I think is going to be really interesting. I mean, not to go off of this, but next year when Texas joins the SEC, I want to know how that media rights does because they have the Longhorn Network, and Longhorn Network is its own entity through Texas University. So I'm interested to see how that works with the SEC and ESPN on SEC and all that stuff. That's going to be interesting. But back to FSU, I think what they should do is they should meet with the ACC and say, all right, we did everything we were supposed to do. Clemson did it a couple years ago. They made it. They won. They made it another time and lost, but they made it. What do we have to do as a conference to be recognized like the Big Ten and the SEC? And I don't think bringing in SMU, Stanford, and Cal is that answer. I think if you're charging a school $500 million to leave, you should be able to pay somebody $500 million to join your conference. Go out there and get a big school. Go out there and try to get some of these schools that are thinking about leaving that have a name behind them. Look what the Big Ten did, bringing in Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA. I mean, and the SEC bringing in Texas and Oklahoma. Why don't the ACC go back and, I mean, like the Big East had, go back and get West Virginia, bring them back into that area of football where they're playing Virginia Tech and having that rivalry back. Go get somebody like Purdue. Go get Rutgers. Go get some of these Big Ten schools that don't belong in the Big Ten.
Maryland.
Yeah, go get that's a former Big East school that played with Syracuse and Virginia Tech and Miami. Go get them. I mean, yes, it's not Tennessee, it's not Georgia, it's not Alabama, it's not Texas, Oklahoma, but that's better competition than. I mean, don't get me wrong, SMU's on their way up, but Cal hasn't been relative in 15 years. Stanford hasn't been anything since McCaffrey was there.
My big thing with
and also go get JMU. If you want to go get a school, go get somebody like JMU. Go get Liberty. Yeah.
Liberty. Yeah. No, my thing is with Cal and SMU and Stanford joining the ACC, you're on the other side of the coast.
I mean, it's the same thing with the Big Ten, though, bringing in freaking.
I mean, yeah, but like at least there's some closer games. I mean, there you're going to have three that are just outside, make no sense as far as like, you know, if you're a Hokies fan and they play Cal, are you going to fly out to Cal to watch them?
No. I mean, think about this too. Like, it's just, you know, I know it's far away either way, but what happens when Cal plays Miami in basketball on a Wednesday night?
Yeah, for the players and everything.
I mean, it's. I don't like it. I think we're getting into another topic here, but I really think if they realign conferences, you just need to draw a line and be like, all right, this is the South, this is the teams, this is your Northern teams, this is your Midwest, this is your West.
I think we need to break it up like, you know, our fellow pioneers and Indians broke it up. You know, just draw the lines wherever you want it.
Yeah.
If your state qualifies in that's where you're at.
I mean, could you imagine, let's just hypothetically, I mean, I know we both gave our points on FSU, but could you imagine like a conference consisting, let's say, they say, all right, Virginia, you have JMU, Virginia, Liberty, Virginia Tech. You bring in Tennessee, Vandy, then go down, you grab Arkansas, you come back up, get Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Georgia, South Carolina, Clemson, North Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest, NC State, and grab the Florida schools, Florida State, Miami. Grab them. UCF, USF. You grab those schools. There's a conference. Then you go. I mean, your Midwest, that would consist of. I mean, you could go all the way down in like you could come to Kansas and go Missouri, Kansas, Ohio State. You know, that way. And then you have your Northern. You have a traditional Big East, like you used to have West Virginia, Pittsburgh. Add Penn State to that. You know, I mean. Those
break it up.
That makes more sense, and it adds parity, and it also helps recruiting wise because you have a team UCF. Why would I want to go to UCF when I can go play at Florida or Florida State? Well, we play in the same conference as them. and you have a chance to play for us and have a chance to beat them. And you're going to get the same notoriety. You'll get the same TV time. You're going to get the same exact treatment they get. You're just playing for a different Florida school. I think that would be – and you'd have more – you'd make more homegrown rivalries. You'd be able to have the Virginia Tech-Tennessee game every year. You'd be able to have these Florida schools play for the Florida Cup like the military does. They play for the Battle of the Military Cup. You could have the Battle for Florida. Whoever comes out winning the Battle of Florida, they get a trophy. I mean, you could just do so much more with that. That's what they need to do. They need to get away from – money's driven everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the SEC's went out and got the biggest schools, the ones that draw in the most money, and the Big Ten's doing the same. They're trying to do the same. I mean, right now, you're looking, other than a couple of teams here and there in the ACC, there's nothing out west now. There's nothing.
Pretty much.
Because Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA joined the Big Ten. Your best school out west right now is probably Arizona. And, I mean, it's just
it's bad.
They're hurting themselves.
They really are. But you said the big thing right there, it comes down to money. That's what drives the world. So,
All right, man. Well, while we're talking about college football and all these teams, let's go back and go over a couple bowl games since we didn't get to go over any of them on Thursday. We didn't preview any of them. So I also want to go ahead and look into Saturday. We had the Duke versus Troy game. It was actually a really good game, the Birmingham Bowl. Duke ended up winning that game 17-10. Passing leader was Gunnar Watson. Pretty sure that was Troy's quarterback. He had 230 yards passing. Troy, their defense won that game for them. Duke, no Riley Leonard. Duke won that game, actually. Duke had no Riley Leonard, so that was really surprising to me that they actually won that game because the way that defense was good all year. But the way they looked without Riley Leonard, it really just good. No, they had no Mike Elko either. I just did not see Duke winning that game.
Yeah, I didn't pick Duke, honestly. I picked
Troy.
Troy, yeah.
Yep, I picked Troy in that one. Another game from Saturday that kind of just caught me off guard a little bit was the James Madison Air Force game. I mean, you both big on JMU all year. Jordan McLeod had another stellar game, 257 yards passing, but Air Force
tough.
Yeah, Air Force came to play. Won that game 31-21. That was the Armed Forces Bowl, so rightfully so, right? Maybe it was rigged. Was it rigged?
I don't think it was rigged. I think that was a heck of a game. 31-21. I think Air Force now 9. They finished season 9-4.
Mm-hmm.
They were sound all year.
What about you?
I was iffy on that one. I almost picked Air Force.
I was iffy on that one too, but I just felt like you sold me Jordan McLeod, and just I mean, I know James Madison lost their coach. He's going to Indiana, which is big news for him, and that he deserved it. But I really thought James Madison had it. They had a great defense this year. Just maybe they didn't. I didn't pay much attention. Maybe they had a lot of people that opted out, so maybe that's what got them. Let's talk about a game you picked. Had your favorite all-time coach of Tennessee history on it, Arkansas State versus Northern Illinois.
Yeah, lost 19-21. Butch still can't coach, so that's why they lost that game.
That's it. Butch can't coach.
That's it. Butch can't coach. He trying to build brick by brick, man. He building that house with hay. God, it's going to come up there and puff, 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 and blow that house away.
Oh, God.
That's what's going to happen, man. Butch ain't changed much.
Another game here that I talked to one of my buddies about this one. He kind of caught me off guard. The Las Vegas Bowl, Northwestern versus Utah.
Didn't see that one.
I did not see Northwestern pulling this out, but they did. Northwestern ended up winning this game 14-7. This was a very interesting game. But Northwestern's defense just absolutely shut down Utah.
Utah really didn't have much of an offense to begin with.
No.
But, shut them down, held them to 7 points. Very low-scoring game. I don't know what the weather was in that one. I did not watch that game.
As far as I know, it wasn't bad. I don't think it was nothing.
That's surprising, so it just came down to defense.
Yeah.
Most of these bowl games so far are, you look at our picks, and it's like, 77 to 20, whatever, 23, 33, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Percentage wise, and usually the lower percentage right now has been the favorite.
Underdog's been winning a lot. Another game I want to talk about too before we move on. The Southern Alabama Eastern Michigan game, the Ventress Bowl. Yes, South Alabama won 59-10, but that wasn't my takeaway from it. I don't know if you've seen the video, but South Alabama was singing with the band, doing their fight song at the end of the game, and some dude from Eastern Michigan that got his Hind end handed to him, got pretty pissed off, and came out of nowhere and haymakered the dude out of
He had it.
Yep, and then the all-out brawl busted out. I mean, I get emotions are high, but dude, you just got beat 59-10. It ain't like you lost really close. So that was sad to see something like that happen, especially on the 23rd, right before Christmas.
Yeah, gave him the Stone Cold Steve Austin stud. That's what he did.
Poor Eastern Michigan, they come out by breaking a concrete wall down with the sledgehammer. It took them like 6 minutes to enter the field because they were trying to break down this concrete wall. Stupidest tradition of entrance I've ever seen. So please, Eastern Michigan, get rid of that. And also,
you think that'd wear them out a little bit before the game?
Oh, they was using sledgehammers and everything, trying to kick the cinder block wall down. It was a lot.
I like it.
But Tuesday, let's move on to Tuesday. We had I didn't watch hardly many of these games. They were games I really wasn't interested in, but I did flip over and watch the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, UNLV versus Kansas. We had a record in that game, actually. The quarterback for Kansas lost the whole stat line there, guys. So sorry. What was his name? Where's it at? Jason Bean. Sorry. Jason Bean throws for 6 touchdowns and overcome, and they had a lot of penalties in that game. No more undisciplined Tennessee Vols in this game, but they still came back and won this game 49-36. Kansas was one of the Power Five football's worst teams that long ago, and then bam, here they are winning bowl games and Jason Bean broke the record for most touchdowns.
Got to watch out for Mr. Bean, I tell you.
Bean. He had 449 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and they won the game against UNLV, which ended in a scuffle, 49-36.
I like it, man. Yeah, I like Kansas this year. They did really good.
They did really well. And the last game I kind of want to touch base with, just because we kind of went over it a lot today with Brian Long. The Virginia Tech Hokies won their first bowl game since 2006 in the Military Bowl.
16.
Sorry. The Military Bowl presented by GoBowling.com. They beat Tulane. They absolutely just whipped Tulane.
They really did.
41-20, and they did all that on the ground. Drones had 176 yards rushing, and he did that all on the ground. He only had 91 yards passing. A lot of upside with Virginia Tech in this offense, especially finding a quarterback. Beating Tulane, I think I told you, I said it's a big win.
Momentum.
Big win for them going into next year. Good for recruiting. You're a bowl victor, and now that puts them, 7-6 on the year?
7-6 on the year. But a big thing, if you didn't watch this game, the reason why there was so many rushing yards, it was an absolute monsoon.
Mm-hmm.
Very nasty game. I think there ended up being 5 or 6 total turnovers between. Yeah, I think it's 5. Can't remember what the final number was. It was a lot. It was like every time you turned around, somebody was fumbling or dropping the ball. But yeah, this was a good game. 3 quarters in, Tulane was in this game till third quarter, and then the Hokies, the defense just out. I think they wore them out a little bit. Also, too, a big thing I think a lot of people are overlooking in this game is when Tulane's quarterback went out.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was a big momentum shift because they was running a QB draw play that was working really well. And then when he went out, that kind of just shifted momentum a little bit more. But there was a lot of big momentum shifters. I mean, at the start of the third quarter, Hokies fumbled and Tulane scored on that. And here comes Tulane, and then after that, that was pretty much the highlight of their evening.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to the Hokies for winning that 41-20. First win since 2016 in a bowl game. That's pretty nice to have. 8 years is a long drought. So hats off, for 7 years, as a long drought. So yeah. I mean, see what the Hokies do next year.
Tech almost finished with 500 yards, and most of that was rushing yards, which is crazy.
Hokies are returning 11 of 12, I think, right? Is that what I read?
Yep. 11 of 12. I mean, they're looking good going into next year. And I mean, Tootin, he got 136 yards rushing to go along with Kieran Jones's 176 yards. I mean, and we know the kid could throw it. I think he had almost a 300-yard passing game in a couple games this year. So,
yeah,
this is the most Tyrod type quarterback I've seen Tech have in a while, and it really fits that program. Hopefully they can continue with the transfer portal and some recruiting, and they can bring in some more talent and build around it, because I think they finally found their niche. They found their coach. And I did notice, I was talking to a guy I work with, he's a big Hokie fan. They're finally starting to get back into the whole Frank Beamer ways of recruiting the state of Virginia, going up and getting Newport News, getting that Virginia Beach area, and trying to win the state of Virginia before they go and try to go get these players from Florida, Georgia, and all these other places. So,
love it.
Props to Tech. Way to go, guys. Congratulations on your win. All you Hokie fans, be happy out there. Enjoy it, guys. It's a big win. Whether it's not, it don't have to be a New Year's Six Bowl. It's a big win, and enjoy that one, guys, because, again, it could be another 7 years before you win another one. So,
Yeah.
Not saying it's going to, but you just never know. Things happen fast. Before we move on out of today, though, what other bowl games are going on today? Right now,
We got UNC and West Virginia, and USC Louisville just kicked off a minute ago.
Okay, USC and Louisville. Give me Louisville in that game against the USC. USC's got a lot of players out there. A lot of questions about what's going on at USC. And who's the other one? West Virginia and North Carolina?
Yeah. West Virginia's that big right now.
Yeah, West Virginia. I figured no Drake May in that game for North Carolina, so I kind of figured that's how that one was going to play out. Another game is going to kick off at 9 o'clock. Be interesting to see. Old Big 12 rivals here. Texas A&M versus Oklahoma State. This is the Tax Act Texas Bowl. Give me Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy in that one. This game's played in Houston.
Yeah, I like Oklahoma State in that one too. I'm also going to pick Louisville. Jack Plummer's playing. I think they're up 7-0 right now. And again, I think the Mountaineers are up 27-10, I think is the score at the minute. I think they're in the fourth quarter as well. So Garrett Green's having a good game. That was my difference maker in that game. But yeah, OK State. I know you said Gundy, but I'm going to go with Ollie Gordon. Dude's a monster.
Yes.
Could have a big game. He led college football with 1,614 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns. He very well, I think, could be over. I'm gonna say he gets close to 1,800 tonight total.
It's very possible, man. Very possible. Ollie Gordon's had a big year. He was a Heisman candidate. I think he finished 5th or 6th in the voting anyway. So yeah, Ollie Gordon.
He's good.
It'll be fun to watch. I know you guys won't be hearing this till in the morning, but hopefully you get a chance to turn on and watch Ollie Gordon run because he's really fun to watch. But looking ahead into tomorrow, there's a bunch of games tomorrow. You got SMU versus Boston College. You got Rutgers versus Miami. You got the Pop-Tarts Bowl, NC State versus Kansas State. And you also have to finish off the night, you have Arizona versus Oklahoma. And I personally would like to talk about the Arizona-Oklahoma game. That is the Valero Alamo Bowl. I'm big on Shale, so I'm not a big fan of Valero, but we'll see here. Arizona's Wildcats probably have the most dynamic quarterback that nobody talks about. And you say he's sizzling. Noah Fafita. He's a true freshman out of Huntington Beach, California. This dude threw for 2,515 yards this year, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and finished 6th in the nation in QBR. He actually finished 9th in the Heisman voting as a freshman. Arizona's found a stud in this guy, somebody nobody really thought was going to be much, and was single-handedly the reason that Arizona is ranked going into this. They finished 9-3 on the year. They're 14th in the country, playing an Oklahoma Sooners team that will be without Dylan Gabriel. Big turnaround from where they was at last year, finishing 10-2. But Oklahoma was kind of inconsistent, especially after that Texas win. I mean, they finished 10-2, but they weren't as dominant as people thought they were going to be in that after beating Texas. Arizona is a 2.5-point favorite, and I'm picking Arizona not to be way over that. I think Arizona wins this game by 14. Give me the Arizona Wildcats over Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, I look for Arizona to cover too. I do think they're only going to win by 3. I got them winning 34-31. It's going to be a lot closer than you think. Wildcats started out the season 3-3, but won their final 6 games to finish off 9-3. They had 4 ranked wins this year, finishing top 25 in scoring and 12th in passing per game, and were 3rd in the Pac-12 standings this year. So hats off to them. Noah Fafita, like you said, Noah Fajita is going to be sizzling tonight. He's going to light it up. Arizona is 6th nationally in third down conversions offensively. That stat's overlooked a lot. So I think we'll see a big game out of Arizona tonight. Big game out of Fafita. You mentioned the Sooners being without Gabriel. They do start former 5-star prospect Jackson Arnold tonight. So he will get the nod.
That'll be tomorrow night.
Or tomorrow night, sorry. He'll get the nod over. I can't remember the other guy's name, but he is starting. So, give me Arizona 34-31.
Last thing I want to say, though, about Fafita, his last game, they won 59-23 over Arizona State. He threw for 527 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. It was his first interception in over 3 games. He's not threw more than 1 interception in any game this year. He didn't throw many at all, but 500. He threw for 500 yards as a freshman. Was averaging 12.9 yards per pass. Put him
West
up.
Virginia with the fake field goal.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm watching.
Okay. West Virginia fake field goal. Did they make it?
He got the first down. He got the first down.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he did.
Country road.
Mac Brown's getting out coached big time right now. Big time.
Oh, Mac.
I love it. Good play call.
What game you want to talk about tomorrow? What's the one that you want the fans and listeners to watch?
Tomorrow, I'm gonna go with this other one you have here: NC State and Kansas State. The Poop Tarts Bowl.
The Poop Tarts. Pop Tarts.
I'm going to tell you who I'm picking. NC State. They're not a basketball squad. Shout out Steve Smith. And the reason being, Will Howard has gone on Kansas State. Avery Johnson. You ever heard of him?
Avery Johnson, basketball player.
Will be starting for Kansas State. He's a true freshman. The reason I'm picking NC State is because I hope this happens. NC State is just one 10-win season in program history. The Wolfpack went 11-3 in 2002, including a victory in the Gator Bowl.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. I think I got NC State in this one. Kansas State without Will Howard. They got a good defense, but it's going to be really tough for them because NC State, I think they've got everybody playing. That defense was solid this year. They were one of the most underrated teams in the country. And the Pop-Tart Bowl, this is the first ever Pop-Tart Bowl, and that trophy is phenomenal. It's a huge, looks like a Super Bowl trophy with Pop-Tart boxes around it, and the top of it has two places for two Pop-Tarts, so it looks like a toaster. So that's pretty cool. But, yeah, give me the NC State Wolfpack in this one. Get that 10-win season. And if you decide you want to fly down to Orlando, guys, you can go to this game for as low as $16.
Wow.
Yep.
That's very
cheap.
cheap.
You can get a direct flight from Tri-Cities to Orlando. So
they're seeking their first postseason win since 2017.
Wow. Look at that. ACC.
I like it.
Let's move on, though, to Friday. We got some big bowls on Friday. Hopefully some of you people are off and be able to watch these games. To the Clemson to Kentucky fans, y'all got the Gator Bowl at 12. And then at 2 o'clock, we have the Oregon State versus Notre Dame, the Sun Bowl. But what else do I have here? Oh, the Cotton Bowl is also Friday. I think I got that mixed. I had the Sun Bowl in there. Yeah, the Sun Bowl is on there. And then also you have the Liberty Bowl between Memphis and Iowa State. But the Cotton Bowl, one of the most traditional bowl games in college football. You have number 9 Missouri. They stand on business versus a depleted, and I'm not sure you may know the answer to this, Ohio State. Is Marvin Harrison Jr. playing in that game?
Well, he opted out of practicing with his squad this week. He's practicing in one-on-one, I think, with his trainers and stuff. So he's doing his own personal training. So it's looking like he's not going to be playing for all my sports bettors out there. So still don't have an answer. Still don't have a clear-cut answer, but he's not practicing with the team, so that's never a good sign. I look for Marvin Harrison Jr. to opt out.
It does. 3 hours ago, they are reporting he is at the Cotton Bowl, but his status is unclear. Yes, so he did travel with them,
but he did not practice with them.
Harrison again was a full participant, but did have his helmet on during the portion of the practice that was open to reporters. He did not take any interview sessions afterwards with other top offensive players. A day earlier, Harrison rode a stationary bike on the sideline with the rest of the team, while the rest of the team stretched and began practice. So it's going to be interesting. Former Ohio State great, incredible wide receiver, which is their offensive coordinator, Brian Hartline, avoided any talk about Harrison and if he was going to the draft. So I guess we'll just kind of find out Friday if Harrison suits up. I do believe if you're a Ohio State Buckeye fan and you see this dude suit up, he's coming back.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I'll be very surprised if he comes back, honestly.
He said he wanted to beat Michigan.
I get it, but I mean, he's NFL caliber, hands down, top 5 pick.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but I like Mizzou in this one. A lot of people are not picking Mizzou. They're bagging on Mizzou. They think Ohio State's just the greatest thing since God. I mean, sophomore Devin Brown's going to get his first start since, Kyle McCord did transfer to Syracuse. Brown entered the season in quarterback competition with McCord, but hasn't attempted to pass in-game action since October 14th. Again, key factor in this, still don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing, as we're talking about. So that might make me change my prediction a little bit. But Cody Schrader is playing. Do you know who he is?
Cody Schrader.
And Luther Burden III, who's just as good as Marvin Harrison, in my opinion.
Woo!
I think he finished with 11 yards difference or something like that. It was something very close. So he's just as good. I think that needs to be noted. Fun fact.
Before you continue on there, I will say if Marvin Harrison Jr. had Brady Cook at quarterback, it'll be a little bit different with his stats too, because Kyle McCord.
Sure. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a generational talent, hands down.
Yes.
But I'm not bagging on Luther Burden either. That dude's good.
Love Luther.
But fun fact, Missouri is 2-0 in the Cotton Bowl, winning in 2007 and 2013. So I like an undefeated coming in here. Let's get 3-0, baby. Give me Missouri.
All about business. Yeah, give me Missouri in that one. Incredible season for Missouri and that coaching staff and what they did. I mean, they put some of the best SEC schools up against the ropes. Georgia, They blew out Tennessee. I think really Missouri too. If you put them up against Alabama, they're playing them tight. Texas, they would have played them really tight this year as well. Very good team. I think they're a lot better than ninth in the country. You mentioned Cody Schrader, probably one of the greatest walk-ons we've seen in many, many years. That kid can do it all for them. So, yeah, give me Missouri in that game, whether Marvin Harrison Jr. plays or not.
Yeah, I agree. Even if he plays, I'm probably not going to change my prediction, but because we don't, again, it's quarterback's going to be a little bit of a factor.
Yeah.
I don't care what people say. So we're seeing that in these bowls get today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. You mentioned another one there, the Sun Bowl, Oregon State versus Notre Dame. I think that game's going to be a snooze fest myself.
Yeah, a lot of people had that game.
Yeah, I picked Notre Dame by 11. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be a good game. All kinds of players missing from the regular season, but I got Notre Dame winning this one 31-20.
I like that, Notre Dame in that one. You know what? Give me Oregon State in that one just to be indifferent. Oregon State had a really good year. I know they lost their coach. I thought DJ entered the transfer portal. Their backup quarterback entered the transfer portal. But they do have one of my favorite players. I'm not sure if he's playing. There's nothing out there on him or not if he is playing. But Damian Martinez, I think one of the best backs in the country. If he plays,
Absolutely. They
can hand the ball off to him. He can control that game, control that tempo. So give me Oregon State by a field goal in that game.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch that game. We'll see.
It's Friday at 2 o'clock, so you might be working.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'll be working if anybody's listening.
But also moving on to the Saturday, though. With Saturday, got a lot of big bowls that game. You got the Peach Bowl. We got the Music City Bowl. We have the Orange Bowl. We also have the, I don't know how this made it to Saturday, but the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. The games I want to talk about here is the Peach Bowl between Ole Miss and Penn State and the Orange Bowl between Georgia and Florida State. Peach Bowl, Ole Miss, Penn State. Who you got, buddy?
It's going to be a close game. Penn State's going to have to run the ball well. I think that's a big thing. Ole Miss finished 6th in the SEC rankings for rush defense. Penn State is solid with 1 and 2 backs, Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that name right. This will be a 1-2 punch against Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to have to be ready to stop the run. Penn State has a 72% chance to win this game according to 247 Sports. I don't like that. Give me Jackson Darts. Give me Lane Kiffin, the transfer god right now. I like Mississippi State. Right. 35-28.
Love that. I'm going Ole Miss as well, and I'm going Ole Miss big in this game. I don't think Penn State even comes close. I don't care if Drew Eller or Alar or whatever his name is was a former 5-star. This Penn State team has no offense. They haven't played a defense like an SEC defense, and Ole Miss doesn't even have a typical SEC defense, but they're not ready for this offense. You're talking about Jackson Dart, but I'm going to talk about Quinshon Judkins, probably the best running back in the SEC. Sophomore, had 237 carries for 1,052 yards, 15 touchdowns. This dude's an absolute monster. Why he's not at Alabama, I don't know, or why he didn't go to Georgia. I don't understand that either. But he is going to run all over this Penn State defense. They're not going to know what hit him. And I hope Michigan fans watch this in support of their Big Ten and think, oh, man, we beat Penn State. We hung our hat on that victory, and they're going to get blew out by a team that finished 4th in the SEC. So give me Ole Miss in that game big.
You know, we've really bagged on the Big Ten.
Not a fan of the Big Ten.
Me and you both. I mean,
great defenses, terrible offenses.
I know, but we bagged on them all year. They're going to come after us, man.
They might. Michigan fans are waiting for me.
They really are.
All right, well, let's move on to the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. You know what I wrote down for my notes on this one?
What'd you write down?
Blowout. That's what it's going to be. UGA big, 45-10.
Yeah, this game's not even really worth talking about. Carson Beck's playing. I'm pretty sure Lat McConkey's playing. Brock Bowers did not travel with the team, but Kirby did say that there's a very good chance that he does play. But I really don't think it matters if Beck plays, McConkey plays, Bowers plays. I think Georgia can go out there with all their backups with the amount of players for Florida State that's opted out. They're down to their third-string quarterback. They lost their number 1 wide receiver today. He decided he wasn't going to play. They've lost both edge rushers. They've lost 2 other defensive linemen. They lost all their secondary, and they lost their starting middle linebacker and team captain. Florida State is depleted. This is going to be an embarrassment for Florida State, and I hate that because of what they're trying to do. I think it would have showed a lot better if they would have came out here with a full squad and came out here and tried to lay it to Georgia, but this is just a show of this is admit to defeat. So, yeah, I'm with you. Georgia big in this game. It's going to be sad. I may not even turn this game on, to be honest with you, because
he'll turn on.
it's not going to be much. I mean, But on the flip side of it, let's hope it's not much, because if Florida State could beat Georgia with all the people they've lost,
No, that'd be
man,
terrible.
It'd be real bad. But
that'd be bad for you.
yeah, give me Georgia. Georgia big in this game. Georgia coming home with the oranges. But yeah.
You know, one thing there I want to touch on, since we're wrapping up the bowls here, they're going to have to do something about these players opting out and everything. They're going to have to figure out some rules on this, because don't get me wrong, bowls are important because you get the extra practices, you get to use your backups, finally get some playing time, stuff like that. So it's very important for the team falling up to the next year.
Right.
But also too, like, if we're just letting everybody opt out, what's the purpose of the bowl games anymore? It's like no purpose. If you don't make it to, it's like I always joke about it. I mean, Brian Long knows I say this all the time, but natty or bust. But I'm being serious. Like, that's the biggest, accomplishment in college football. So do we need to have all these bowl games?
I think you're going to see a depletion of the bowl games.
I think you are too,
especially with the playoff coming around. But I think there needs to be something done with it. I think you need to be able to. I think these kids need to be penalized in some way for not playing, because I mean, it takes away from what makes college football good. I mean, bowl season.
You watch your team as a fan.
Yes.
It sucks because, I mean, even going Tennessee, I'll because I'm a Tennessee fan, obviously. So I'll go Tennessee, like with Nico, and then we have all these backups playing, like all of our secondaries transferring. Like, I'm like, well, I just watched my team all year. I'm looking forward to this bowl game, and then I get here and I'm like,
let me tell you what I think.
Playing, it just sucks.
I don't think it'll happen, but I think the only way you fix this issue is you say, all right, you're transferring. You have to play the full season. So if your team makes the bowl game, you have to play the full season, including bowl game, to have immediate eligibility. If not, you have to sit out a year if you transfer. And then two,
something.
I think the NFL needs to step in and say, if you want to be draft eligible, you need to play the full season, because that takes.
They're always like, I don't want to get hurt. Well, why are you playing football?
Yeah.
If that's the case, just sit out the whole season.
See, that's the thing, too. I think if they thought that it was going to change because these NIL deals, you make more money now in NIL than you do going to the pros. So they got the money, so they can't say, well, my future rides on it. No, you're set. If you're Caleb,
why don't they do that with the NIL deal? If you want your NIL deal, you have to play your bowl game.
I say you have to do you'd have to stifle it. You'd have to be like, I'll give you 25% now. You play the bowl game, you'll get the rest of it. So yeah, something like that.
Something. We gotta do something because it's getting bad, man.
Before we do leave college sports, we got some NFL rumors that involve a college football coach, and sure enough,
Jim Harbaugh.
He is
I just saw
he's
that.
avoiding questions about the Chargers vacancy, so they must be trying to talk to him about coming to LA. Boy, wouldn't that be something? Every week, it's distractions of Michigan. Every week. Anyway, Jim Harbaugh. You got any transfer updates? Any recruiting news? Anything that, bud?
Transfer updates. Just going to give a quick rundown of some stuff I've seen since the last time we recorded, because guys haven't been live in a little while. So just a quick update. What is in the water at Ole Miss is what I want to know. They picked up Walter Nolan, commits to the Rebels as well. So Ole Miss, again, guys, next year, I'm calling it. They're going to be very tough.
You got that right.
I'll be surprised if they don't win the West. I'm serious. I'm calling it right now. Trevor Etienne commits to your boys.
Yep.
Georgia, that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Big.
Georgia, dominate the West or East next year. Sorry. It sucks being a Tennessee fan, but it's just the truth. Malik Murphy was a big one that I wanted to note on. Yep. He's heading to Duke.
Yep. Good fit for him there. Very good fit.
Very good fit. I'm going to be excited to watch him there. I'm looking forward to watching some Duke football next year. Yeah. So, that's really the main ones that I wanted to touch on. As far as, Ole Miss. It's crazy.
Ole Miss, they're getting everybody. I mean, it is wild what Lane Kiffin's doing. He gets the extension. He just keeps bringing them in. They were rumors he was trying to get Jaden Daniels to transfer to him and forego the NFL and bring him in. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding about that. He's all about Jackson Dart. But
rightfully so.
It's interesting to see what Kiffin's doing down there and what it could materialize into next year. It could be something really special for Ole Miss Rebels next year.
He's went back-to-back seasons at 10-win seasons.
Yep.
Just saying.
Might
so
be,
the third year.
Mm-hmm. Third year could be a big one.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, let's keep it in college. But let's talk about the round ball. Let's talk about the old basketball. Not much going on really in college basketball. It's been pretty quiet since we've had the holiday tournaments and stuff like that. But we do have some big games coming up. But we had one come up while we didn't we didn't do our podcast. It was kind of off. You had a team I'm really high on. Two teams I'm really high on. Florida Atlantic Owls upset the number 1 team in the country in Arizona. Castle died. Lost Castle. He died completely. He went out of the way there. Didn't say nothing. He has nothing to say about
Sorry.
it. That's fine.
I went on mute to eat me a hot tamale real quick. Those are good.
Was it good? Was it really good?
Yeah, good little piece of candy. Yeah.
Piece of candy.
Yeah, FAU beat Arizona 96-95. I watched bits and pieces of this game. Didn't get to watch the whole thing. But yeah, it really surprised me. I know you picked FAU, but I picked Arizona because I didn't expect Arizona to lose another one.
Yeah.
This early, honestly. But this was a game that, we kind of expected to happen. We both said it was going to be close. Yeah. FAU really surprised me. They're the real deal.
They're a good team. They're really coached really well. They have good senior leadership. Good for them. Good. I mean, I like the parity we have in college basketball this year. So it was good to see. Arizona, if you're a fan of the Wildcats, lose them now, guys. Learn to lose now and fix it, and then get to the tournament, and then you've faced adversity. But as far as the rest of college basketball this weekend, there's not really much going on. If you're a big ACC fan, there's a lot of ACC basketball coming up this weekend, a lot of conference games between ACC conference teams. Also, there's a huge Big East matchup, and that is number 22 Creighton versus number 10 Marquette. Who you got now, man?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little biased on this one. I'm going to go with Marquette, and the reason being Creighton cost me like $50 because they lost in overtime to Villanova by 2. If you're a follower of DraftKings, they switched the bet around to plus 100. If you took Creighton played at home. They were the favorite. They were minus 480, I think, so it went to plus 100. So it was like guaranteed money. So I thought I'd double my money. So I put $50 on them and lost. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So go Marquette. I'm still very mad about that game, but Kolick, Jones, and Igodara, I think is his name, Igodaro,
yes,
will win the game for Marquette. That's their 3 leading scorers. It's the leaders in all statistics for Marquette. Marquette's got a great coach. I like Marquette in this one.
Give me Creighton Blue Jays in this one. I think they come in. I think they send a message in this one, and probably their senior All-American guard here, Baylor Sherman. He's senior. He's 6 foot.
Can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, he's a 6'7" senior guard. This dude's 6'7". He leads them in all statistical categories with 18.3 points per game, rebounds 7.5, and 4.4 assists per game. And he's shooting 43.8% from the field. I think. Yeah.
But yet they can't beat Villanova.
They lost an OT by 2. So
Villanova's not the same Villanova either.
I don't care. Creighton's gonna win this game.
This game at Marquette.
Let me make sure that it shows Marquette as the home. Yep, it's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Get Marquette home.
Yeah, give me Marquette.
Give me Creighton. Give me the Blue Jays in this one. Yep.
I'm put $50 on
$50
it.
on it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all you got for college basketball.
That's about all you got. It's pretty lackluster weekend.
Very lackluster weekend for college basketball, but a lot of good games if you're a fan of your team. Sit back, watch them. If not, watch a couple bowl games we talked about. But let's move on to the pros, man. You got if you're a Detroit Pistons fan, I'm sorry.
Woo. Hey, making history.
Making history. Talk about the history.
27th straight loss. I think they're going to go for 28 tonight or tomorrow night, right?
Hold on. I'm checking live.
They play, I think, tomorrow night or maybe tonight. Because that was like last night they lost. Tomorrow night. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see if they go for 28.
They play
I wonder if there's a bet I can bet on how long this losing streak will go.
There's a bet somewhere. I don't know if it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. It's like, will they win another game the rest of the year?
Oh. Yeah.
Excuse me. They play the Celtics tomorrow night.
Okay, that's a loss. Who they got after that? I think we can get maybe to 30.
Oh boy, 30.
Is that Celtics game at home or is it at Boston? That's even worse. They're done. They are done. I think Boston's undefeated at home this year.
At Boston, then they play Toronto, then they play the Rockets on the 1st.
Okay, so they might can beat Toronto, and they might can beat Houston. Hey, that's a very good possibility.
Cade Cunningham has been balling out for them, though. He had 40 points last night.
That's great. They still lost.
Yep, he's averaging 23 points a game for them. He's leading them in assists. He's kind of a bright spot for them, but outside of him, it's been absolutely garbage.
Yeah, poor Detroit. They're pretty bad. Hey, they're enjoying football, though. Yeah. They're loving some football right now. We'll get into them here in a second. Yep. But set the record for most straight losses. So congrats.
Did you watch any games on Christmas Day?
I sure did. I watched the Celtics and Lakers. I always watch that game. Boston's now 23-6. Shout out to Josh Williams. Your team lost again. They're on a terrible losing streak right now. Bucks and Knicks. You know me. I like Dame Lillard, so I'm cheering for the Bucks. But the Knicks got revenge on this one. They actually played each other right before Christmas, which I wasn't a big fan of. Like we talked about. But the Knicks got revenge. Brunson is a true baller. He had 38 that game. Looked really good, pure shooter. I like how he plays, but I love Dame. It's Dame time all time, baby. But yeah, hate to see the Bucks lose on Christmas Day, but it's no biggie. We're still second in the East, behind Boston, who's the GOAT right now, 23-6. They're 23-6.
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
Tearing it up. Yeah, Knicks. I think that's their 55th time they played on Christmas Day. That's the most of any NBA team. You talked about Jalen Brunson. This dude right now is on an absolute just hot streak. He's tearing it up right now in the NBA, especially for the Knicks. He's leading them. If he can get some other contributions, if RJ Barrett can step up, start getting more consistent, the Knicks could be a threat. I mean, they showed here. Bucks have the number one rated offense in the NBA this year, and the Knicks showed how to slow them down. If the Knicks can continue to play that type of basketball, you're looking at them and the Celtics and the Bucks as your top three teams in the East. But the Knicks just got to work on some things outside of Jalen Brunson. Other than that, what other games we have on Christmas Day?
And I'm trying to hold up my hands here, tell you. Hang on just a second. West Virginia just won the Duke's Mayo Bowl. They just won 30-10 over North Carolina.
Country road.
They're going to be burning some couches.
Take me home.
Nah, Garrett Green had a great game. That defense, I think, had 7 sacks.
Oh.
7 or 8. Yeah, way up there. So they had balled out.
Nice.
Yeah. You and I both picked West Virginia in that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
West Virginia, no Drake May, North Carolina. Big factor there.
Big factor.
Yeah.
So shout out to West Virginia. Nice bowl win.
NBA's getting a little exciting. We're getting into the heart of their season. A lot of starting to see the cream rise to the top. You're starting to see who's going to be the best in each conference. So the NBA is getting exciting this weekend. We got any big games this weekend?
I haven't looked. I'm sure.
Let me see. I got you right here, buddy.
See what we got.
On Saturday, you have the Knicks versus the Pacers in Indiana. You have the Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Ooh, tough.
And then on Sunday, you have the Lakers versus the New Orleans Pelicans, and you also have on Sunday night the Orlando Magic versus the Phoenix Suns. And then another game, which is becoming very interesting because this team is on an absolute just heater right now. The Memphis Grizzlies, since getting Ja Morant back, have not lost the game, and they play the Kings at 8 o'clock on Sunday.
They're 9-19 now, right?
Yeah, 10-19. They won last night.
10-19, so they won last night. Okay.
On a 4-game win streak. All because of Ja.
Yeah. Question. Yeah. Memphis make it back in the playoff picture?
We'll see. They have a chance.
I think they
have a chance. They're showing they have a chance. They're just going to have to put it together. I mean, they're going to need to continue to win. That's going to be key for them. Ja Morant's going to have to continue to lead this team. They still got a lot of other players coming back. They got I think Luke Kennard comes back from injury. See who they got on the injury report right now. Derrick Rose is still out. Ja Morant, they got him back. They get Luke Kennard back here soon. They also get Steven Adams is out for the year. Yeah, Steven Adams is out for the year. They lost him to a knee injury. He had to undergo knee surgery. Brandon Clark expects to make his season debut at the All-Star break, so they'll get him back at power forward. Luke Kennard should be back in the next week or two. They've got Morant back, and Derrick Rose will be coming back pretty soon too. So,
yeah, watch out.
They're getting healthy. Memphis getting healthy at the right time. They got a lot of work to do, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to follow them to see what they end up doing. But that's all we got really for the NBA. Let's move on to the NFL. And since you love talking about this team so much, the Kansas City Chiefs. Is there trouble in Kansas City?
I think there is. I think we saw that this past weekend against the Raiders. Not this past weekend. It was, I guess, Christmas Day, right?
Yep,
they played
Monday.
on Christmas. So Kansas City lost to the Raiders. Didn't really see that one coming. Kansas City really struggling on offense. A lot of wide receivers dropping a lot of balls, too, though, on Mahomes. It's not all on Mahomes. Also, too, no offensive line on Mahomes. Actually, Trey Smith, fellow Tennessee guy, offensive lineman, went down on Monday. So that's another offensive lineman down. I don't know if he's out for next game or moving forward. I don't know what his injury is at the moment, but he went down twice in that game, and I think he ended up going off the field that game. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, they're hurting. I think all the publicity and all the Taylor Swift drama and just too much outside drama and just I mean, you saw it. Freaking Travis Kelce throwing his helmet, hitting Andy Reid, pushed him. I mean, because he bumped into Andy Reid. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's nasty there in Kansas City.
Mhm.
Getting a lot of drama. All greats must come to an end. And I think we're seeing the end of Kansas City's greatness.
So, to reiterate on your Trey Smith, he's questionable right now with a leg injury. A lot of questions, but he is questionable. Yeah, it's just you just don't see teams act the way they've acted, especially with Mahomes and then Kelce losing his marbles there in the game and throwing his helmet. Lucky he didn't hit nobody. Also,
terrible,
Kelce
man.
lost it on his podcast today. He went through a cussing rant saying it's not just one guy. He said he needs to play better. Mahomes needs to play better. Other receivers need to play better. He mentioned the offensive line woes. He mentioned coaching staff. I mean, there's a lot going on there in KC, and I think it's because they got so used to being top dog, and now they're not.
Yep.
And I think it's really starting to affect them. And I mean, fun fact here, if Kansas City loses out, which I don't think they do, but if they lose these last two games and Denver wins their last two games, Kansas City misses the playoffs and Denver makes it by being division champs.
Wow.
So,
oh, my God. I'd lose it. Speaking of Denver, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson been benched. I'm not a fan of
also,
not a fan of this.
He's not just been benched. They're thinking about cutting him.
Yeah, there will be $87 million of dead money Denver would owe. I think there's some other stipulations inside that contract that they can kind of get out of some of it. But I'm not a fan of this. I've said it all year. Sean Payton's just not a fan of Russ Wilson for whatever reason. It's not his guy. But he would get mad at Russ Wilson for just things that weren't even in his control. He would just find a reason to cuss him up and down the sideline. And they got to a point where they wouldn't even talk to each other. They just pass each other. Russell Wilson has better stats this year than Patrick Mahomes. He's sixth in the league in QBR. He has 28 touchdown passes to 8 interceptions. If you want to, all the people out there, all the Broncos fans, people out there that say Russ hasn't been cooking, he won the MVP in 2013. He has better stats at this point of the season than he did in 2013 with Denver, than he did when 2013 when he was in Seattle.
Wow.
This is one of his best seasons. This is his best season so far that he's had in his entire career. And he's getting benched because the rest of the team isn't been doing good. You take away week 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'll give you week 3. The Dolphins kicking their high and beating them by scoring 70 on them. But you have a defense that actually can play in those first 2 weeks. We don't lose to Oakland in week 1. We don't lose to Washington, and we're leading the division right now. And losing to the Patriots means nothing. So Russ did everything he was supposed to do this year, and now he's being benched. Nothing against Jarrett Stidham. Stidham's actually a decent quarterback. But I think this turned into – it's not a performance thing. This turned into a Sean Payton not liking Russell Wilson and that not being his guy thing. So I hate it for us. I seen Geno Smith tweeted out free three. It's hard to say, but I hope to see Russ get another chance somewhere. And I mean, I would love it if he went somewhere and it came back to bite Denver in the hind end because we deserve something like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, we can still win out. Kansas City lose. We can still make the playoffs. I think if Jacksonville loses one, if Jacksonville loses to the Titans in the last week of the season, we have to win out. And then we got to have the Bengals lose a game, Jacksonville lose a game, the Bills lose a game, and we can make it somehow. But it's very slim. But I hate it for us. He did everything he was supposed to do this year. Last year was rough. This year was a career year for him. He's getting benched for it, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah. It's not all on him. I like Russell Wilson. You talk about, he's talking about classless acts. He is a class act.
Yeah, and that's another thing people are talking about too. He's took a lot of crap over the last couple of years in Denver. A lot of crap and a lot of unnecessary crap, and he's not said a word. He's not done anything out of act, out of character. And that was another thing I noticed today. Sean Payton came out during the press conference that they do every week. It was nothing major. Talked about where the team's at, and he mentioned that he sat down with Russ this morning, talked about benching. It was nothing personal, that it was just it's all about winning, and that he felt like Russell hadn't done nothing to get Denver to win the games they should have won, which I don't really agree with. He can't catch the ball every ball he throws, and he can't play defense. But all the players, Justin Simmons, Cortland Sutton, even Jarrett Stidham, they did nothing but praise Russell Wilson, said it's the best teammate they've ever had. They love Russ. They want nothing but the best for Russ. So I don't want to say it because I like this guy. I like him, but I think Sean Payton's a problem. And
I don't think he's a problem.
He needs – I hope, as a fan of Denver, I hope he finds his quarterback he better hope he finds his quarterback and makes it right next year, because if he goes out and finds what he thinks is his guy and it's worse than Russ was this year, it's going to make him look, he's going to make him look stupid. And Denver can't.
Yeah, he'll get canned.
Yeah. But we'll see. But, hey, let's talk about a franchise that had something happen to him that hasn't happened in 30 years. The Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Detroit Lions. Yeah, shout out to them.
First division in 30 years.
Very insane to think that fan base waited 30 years, but I mean, I remember the Lions every year, terrible year in, year out. So it's good to see him finally be good for once. So hats off to the Lions.
Love Dan Campbell, love that team. Talk about another guy. People wrote him off, didn't believe in him. He's making $8 million less. No, $4 million. No, yeah, I was right. $8 million less than Patrick Mahomes and has better stats than him. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's balling out, man. He tore up Jacksonville again.
Yes.
Back-to-back games, he's looked MVP player. As far as
definitely
going to be
comeback
statistics. Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. If he finishes these last couple of games strong, absolutely.
Yes, love Baker.
I think Tampa's now 9-7, 8-7.
I think it's 8-7. I'll check that. You can keep talking.
I think 8-7. I think that's right. So I think they tied Jacksonville 8-7.
Yes, they are.
That's crazy.
8-7 for them to play the Saints this week. Baker's turning it up.
They look pretty dangerous, man. This team's turning it around. So
while we're talking about the Buccaneers, the NFC, it's looking like it's very, very wide open right now.
It is extremely wide open. There's so many possibilities.
The best team right now. I mean, it's crazy to say NFC South team, but Tampa Bay's looking better than any of these. The Eagles are having issues.
Yeah.
The 49ers got absolutely destroyed last night. Purdy threw 4 interceptions. They look bad. Dallas, they haven't won a game since barely squeaking by. They haven't won a game in December. So,
yep. They won one.
Yep.
Won the first week in December.
Well, that's because it was still early. But they're doing what Dallas normally does. I mean, another thing I look to, everybody's saying that it's pretty much a lock that Lamar Jackson wins the MVP. Not to say that this dude deserves it either, but Dak Prescott has better stats than him in every statistical category except for rushing yards, and he's only 300 behind him. Granted, 300 is a lot, but Dak don't run the football. So you're saying that it's a lot because
comes down to these last couple of performances. Yeah. Dak's looked terrible.
I mean, Dak, but I'm saying that he's looked terrible. He's blowing Lamar out of the water with all stats other than rushing, and they're saying Lamar just deserves. I think the media and people blow up Lamar better than what.
We could argue Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was a front runner until he threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, he was, and I think your MVP of the league right now should be Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, without a doubt.
But yeah, playoff pitch, we kind of touch base on it. Right now, the AFC is looking more solid. You've got the Ravens in that one. The Browns look like they're going to lock up a playoff spot. The Miami's locked up a playoff spot. A dangerous team that's working on locking up playoff spots, those Buffalo Bills. The rest of the AFC is kind of wishy-washy. We don't know which way the AFC South is going to go between Houston and Jacksonville and Indianapolis. All those teams are tied at 8-7. The AFC West is still up for grabs. Kansas City's looked weird. The AFC North is the freaking Steelers looking like the best team in the NFL this weekend.
They looked good with Mason Rudolph.
George Pickens had a career game. Looked at the camera, told to put the media to sleep. Told him to shh about that.
195 yards, 11 receptions, I think, something like that.
Hope to see him back that up. That conference is looking like who's it going to get. I mean,
career day for Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper broke the Browns single game
265 yards,
single game receiving record that was held by Josh Gordon. So it took 12 years. It's 12 years to the day that he broke that record. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, the NFC looks like it's going to be wide open right now. The Eagles look like they have issues. One more fun thing before we talk about Thursday Night Football on Saturday between Dallas and Detroit. This blew my mind. Trevor Lawrence. You like Trevor Lawrence, right?
Love T-Law.
What do you think, as far as quarterback in the league, what do you think he's elite? Good? Great?
Good.
Good?
Not great.
What about Daniel Jones?
Decent.
Well, Daniel Jones actually has better stats than T-Law at this point. They're only like a year apart. But at this point last year, Daniel Jones had more passing yards and less turnovers than Trevor Lawrence. Turnovers are killing Trevor Lawrence. And I read a thing, somebody in Jacksonville, there's a Jacksonville newspaper, They said if Trevor Lawrence hadn't have been the recruit that he was coming out of high school, he'd be a backup quarterback in the NFL today. And I
Wow.
was like, that's huge to think. But then I went like
T-Law's battling some injuries too.
he is.
This
He's
year.
battling a lot of injuries, but I went back and looked, just looking at his stats. Even at Clemson, nothing was really just earth shattering. And even then,
So accurate.
and then it pulled up the stats. He has more turnovers than any quarterback in the NFL over the last 3 years, more than Josh Allen, which blew my mind.
I knew he had the same starting season that Peyton Manning
Yeah.
had. He broke his record.
But yeah, that article said if he hadn't have been the recruit he was out of high school, he wouldn't be a starter in the NFL today. And I was like, wow. So I had to look into it. And really, he's one of the bottom couple quarterbacks as far as touchdown to interception ratio and passing yards.
Josh Allen.
He's worse than Josh Allen. Josh Allen's ahead of him. But I mean,
now, okay. But Josh Allen was the worst there for a while.
But anyway, that's nor here nor there. But let's move on. Thursday night football. Amazon Prime. We've actually had some good games here the last couple of weeks on Thursday night, but this one I don't think it'll be as good. But you do have the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. Who you got in this one?
Joe Flacco, give me the Browns.
Joe Flacco. Love what Joe Flacco's doing. I think it's pretty funny. He's played in 4 games this year, and he's already threw for more passing yards than Deshaun Watson threw in 6 games. So
he's a baller, man.
Love primetime Joe here. Going to show out. He's going to throw for 300 yards in this game. Amari Cooper is questionable in this game with an ankle injury, but I think he'll play in that game. We also have one game on Saturday, and that is the Detroit Lions, division champs. Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas Saturday on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Plus at 8:15. Who you got in that game?
Yeah, it's going to be another L for Dallas.
Love it. Give me another L for Dallas. Give me a 12-win season for Detroit. Dallas going to drop to 10-6. Dak's going to play good in this game, but I think Jared Goff looks like a better quarterback in this game, and the Lions are getting healthy. Offensive line, they got their center back against Denver, and since that point, they got him back and their right guard back.
They've looked good again.
They're clicking, looking really good. Good run game, good
Campbell's a great
game.
coach.
Dan Campbell is coach of the year, might be.
Yeah, without a doubt. If Sean Payton somehow makes it into the playoffs, I think he might
be
win
a candidate.
coach of the year.
Sean Payton. But other than that, that's all I got for the NFL, buddy. MLB, anything going on with the MLB?
Yeah, one trade today I wanted to bring up. IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, is now no longer a Yankee. He actually got traded to the Blue Jays for 2 years for $15 million.
Yeah, I didn't realize y'all waived him a couple weeks ago. So
Stupid.
He signed with them for 2 years, which is interesting to stay inside the division. One thing I noticed before we went on, Yamamoto said he would have picked the Dodgers even if Ohtani wouldn't have been there. He was leaning toward the Dodgers the whole time. So the Dodgers, I don't even want to talk about them, but yeah, they got Yamamoto.
I don't even want to talk about baseball.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but yeah, there's still some big time free agents out there. We still have Matt Chapman,
Blake
Snell. There's some big ones out there. Jorge Soler. There's a lot out there. So still got a lot of players out there to see where they end up. But
yeah,
the MLB's quiet, real quiet right now. We'll see what ends up happening. I'll look at see if there's anything going on right now, buzzing around through there. Nope.
What about Bellinger?
Bellinger's still unsigned. Everybody's kind of waiting to see where him and Blake Snell go. That was the other one I was thinking about with the Matt Chapman, Jorge Soler. I mentioned him. But yeah, man, that's all I got. Actually, that's all I've got for this episode. Looking forward to 2024. The next time we do a podcast, it will be 2024. And guys, it's final thoughts. And I just want to personally say thank you all for making the end of our 2023 everything we wanted and more with our expectations going into this. We appreciate it. We're very excited for 2024 to see how it ends up and what we got planned. We got some fun things lined out. We're gonna stretch our limits maybe a little bit in places, but we're gonna see what happens. But we do appreciate you guys. Looking forward to 2024.
Yeah, final thoughts on my end. Same thing. I want to just kind of echo off what you said there. Appreciate everybody coming in, listening to us for 2023. We've only been doing this for a couple months, so we haven't got to do it for the full year. So definitely looking forward to 2024, hopefully doing a full year of episodes. Of course, there will be some break periods there, as Hess and I will need a break mentally every now and then. So, but again, guys, we do appreciate y'all coming up to us, giving your feedback, messaging us. Don't ever stop. We enjoy it. Even if it's, hating on us, loving on us, we love it all. At the end of the day, it's just sports, and that's what we do. So that's what we talk about. So, just keep sending your thoughts and everything, and we'll keep recording these podcasts for y'all. And it means the world to us when you reach out and ask when our next pod's going to be. So that tells us that you're ready for
Yep.
it. So again, guys, thank y'all for awesome 2023. Look forward to the next episode in 2024.
Yep, guys, don't forget we're going to do a live. There'll be a poll dropping on our social media on Facebook tomorrow about what game we go live for on Monday. We'll do the live no podcast. We'll be out Monday morning. We are not doing the recording on Sunday. The next thing you see will be us live, and then we'll record on Wednesday for Thursday's podcast in 2024. Be sure to follow us on social media, like us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Share it with all your friends and family, guys. I appreciate everything. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Out. Peace. Thank y'all.